hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X and YouTube. Apologies for starting the show off a little late today. I promise tomorrow we'll be back in the swing of things. Noon Eastern daily here on SportsGrid TV on X. But we got 7 games to fly over today. We're going to start it off with the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Now, the puck is dropping pretty quickly here in this matchup, and all odds are over on FanDuel. Now, we are seeing Vegas rolling in as a favorite, coming in at minus 128 on that money line, plus 106 here for the Detroit Red Wings, and a total of 6.5. The 6.5 is plus 106 to the over and minus 130 to the under if you're willing to take this one under that total. I'm not because of Samsonov. Samsonov coming into net here for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's allowed 3 goals on 17 shots the last time he faced Pittsburgh, and now facing Detroit. Detroit has a really strong power play, and I'm expecting them to be able to come out nice and strong and fire away on him. I can't trust Samsonov not to allow those goals to come in. But the Red Wings here with Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot does not have solid numbers either. He's 0-3 with a 3.74 goals against average and an .845 save percentage in the month of March. So that's 3 starts here in March. We just will see those goals coming in on him as well. He's lost the last 4 starts he's had, allowing 4 more goals in 3 of the past 4 outings out there. So I think in this one, you're going to look for those goals to come in, especially with Vegas coming in here off a loss to the Buffalo Sabres in a shootout, 4-3 last night. Second night of back-to-back, they're going to have to look to get off to a hot start here, but the Red Wings will look to do the same. If the Red Wings can stay out of the box, they definitely have every opportunity of pulling off a 4-3 style win in this matchup. The problem is if they get in the box, they have the worst kill in the whole league, only killing 69.9% of their opponent's penalties. We know how strong Vegas can be on that power play. Their power play clicking at 28.8%. So 2 elite power plays here between these teams. Vegas sitting second best in the league and third best here for the Red Wings. So I do think we're going to see those goals in this. And I think it starts off hot and fast. Give me the over 1.5 in the first period. Juicy at minus 140, half a unit on that. The other half on both teams to score in the first period at plus 146. When we look at those playmakers here, and this is the first meeting of this season, you guys, we look at some playmakers, and we really do have strong playmakers that can get those goals on the board and those points. Now, I'm going to look at the Red Wings to win as well. They're coming in right now live at plus 118 before this game kicks off. I do think this could be another game where if Vegas goes up first, you can come back in on the Red Wings. There are certain teams that I'm willing to do that. They keep fighting. 6 in the Atlantic here for the Red Wings. They've got so much to play for as they try to get a playoff spot. I don't think they're going to make it. First in the Pacific for Vegas, and this is the last game on the road of 4. Hard situation for them. They're sitting 1-2 on this road trip. 2 games have gone to OT in these 4 on the road. So it's hard for them. These 2 games that have gone to overtime, they have been losses. So they played a lot of time out there on the ice. I do think the Red Wings can capitalize on that fact. So look for the Red Wings on the money line. If you don't want to jump now, you can jump if Vegas scores first and get some more plus money. I'll jump for half a unit on the plus 118 and come back on the other half a unit if we do see Vegas go up first. Now, we know this team last season, it was always an automatic. They'd go up first in a lot of their games, but we just haven't seen it working as much this season. So looking at players and looking where we can jump in on some of these players, Jack Eichel sitting nice and solid with 80 points on the season, 21 goals and 59 assists. Mark Stone for Vegas, 58 points, 17 goals and 41 assists. Thomas Hertl, 55 points, 27 goals, 28 assists. Because I do believe this is going to be that higher scoring game in this one, 4-3 style win for the Red Wings, I would look at all 3 of these players here for Vegas for their points. So that's Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, and Hertl. And then looking at the Red Wings, we've got Lucas Raymond rolling in with 68 points. Can he get 2 points for us? Absolutely, he can. 22 goals and 46 assists on the season. Dylan Larkin, 59 points. I do think he gets point number 60 tonight. He's got 27 goals and 32 assists. Alex DeBrincat, 58 points. Can he get 2 points for us? He absolutely has the ability to do so as well. If you wrote him in the last game for that goal, he now has 31 goals, so great to see 27 assists. And then Patrick Kane here. I do like looking at him as well. 45 points, 17 goals, and 28 assists. So I'm looking here at Raymond and DeBrincat to put a couple points on the board today. Dylan Larkin to put a point for sure, point number 60, and Patrick Kane to also be impactful. So if you want to take all four of those guys for their point tonight, parlay together, you're going to get great plus money. I think it was like plus 600 for all of them to get a point tonight, which is phenomenal because separately you got to lay a ton of juice. But play around with those guys. Again, I think if anyone's going to get 2 points, it's going to be Raymond and DeBrincat. And those goals, I could see Larkin getting the goal tonight. So let's move on to the next game. John, thank you so much. It's been a tough weekend. That's why things have been kind of off. Okay, so Larry, good morning. Let's make some freaking money there. Yeah, Vegas took it out on you. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, Vegas was hard on me too. Taking the Wings, probably not the best choice. I know, John. It's hard to take their Wings, that's for sure. Let's move on to Dallas and Colorado. The Dallas Stars are coming in as a plus 116 underdog on the road here versus the Colorado Avalanche, who are coming in at minus 140. Now, we got a total of 5.5. It's minus 128 to the over 5.5 and plus 104 to the under. This is going to be a fantastic matchup. You got Mikko Rantanen returning to Colorado for the first time. When he was with the Canes and they played against Colorado, he wasn't in the lineup for that game. He's going to be in the lineup for this game, and I'm expecting some fireworks out there. Nathan MacKinnon versus Mikko Rantanen. These two were such tight buddies out there. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Now, the last time these teams matched up, of course, Mikko Rantanen was on Colorado. The Avs were able to get that win in January 6-3. Mikko Rantanen on that game had an assist and 2 shots on goal. Cale Makar stepped up huge in that game. He was able to get 2 goals. Druin had a goal and 2 assists. Middlestat had a goal and 2 assists. McKinnon had an assist. So you look at that core there for the Avs. They were fantastic in that matchup. Now we're going to have Mikko Rantanen on the opposite side. And does he score versus his former team? You know the storyline. We have to put some money on Mikko Rantanen. There's no way I'm not going to put anything on him tonight. If you want to look at shots on goal, I don't blame you for looking at these shots on net tonight. We know Colorado doesn't provide. Well, their defense is solid. They still allow these shots to come in. And Rantanen's going to know how to get past these defensive guys because they used to practice so much together. So I would look at Rantanen for the goal. He's coming in for the goal at plus 185. Colorado's going to look to deny him for sure, but I can't deny Mikko Rantanen for that goal. Now, I do think Dallas still takes the loss in this one. Dallas is without Rupe Hintz, and they got a couple other injuries here. It's going to make it really hard for this team. Looking at this, it's a battle of the Central, you guys. So the Dallas Stars second in the Central. Colorado's got to be fuming that he's actually with the Central now because they traded him away to the Metro. So now with the Central, we're seeing the Dallas Stars with 86 points in 65 games. Colorado sitting here with let me just see what Colorado's sitting here with. 83 points in 67 games. So we do have 2 games in hand for the Dallas Stars, which is scary here for Colorado. So they need this win so desperately. I do think we see that defensive style of hockey, at least in the first period. Jake Ottinger versus Mackenzie Blackwood. You know these teams had this game circled. We're seeing the Stars rolling in off a loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins, 4-1 on Friday. I don't blame them. They were looking ahead to Colorado. And then we're seeing Colorado coming off the win on Friday versus Calgary 4-2. And that was out there on the road. So hard spot for Colorado. They're coming home off 2 games out on the road. And then they've got 3 games back out on the road. So Wednesday they're at the Leafs, Thursday they're at the Senators, and Saturday they're at Montreal. So they've got a tough schedule spot here. But I do think this is the game that they're going to get the win. Looking at them as home favorites on the season, 21-11 as home favorites straight up. They're also 22-10-2 at home overall. And you look at the road record here for Dallas, and the injuries for Dallas is a bigger concern than the road record. The road record's okay, 18, 14, and 1. But as a road underdog, they've gone 3-4. So hard spot for this team. Without Rupe Hintz, I just don't think they can get it done versus Colorado. But I would look for that lockdown in the first period. Under 1.5 in the first period at plus 100. The Avs to get the win here. I'm going to look at Nathan McKinnon to light the lamp, and then Rantanen for the Dallas Stars. So look for the scoring to come in the second. Fingers crossed. If we go highly over the total in that first period, I will be coming back in on the second period under 1.5. I do think we're going to get a lockdown period. I'm expecting it to be the first as we see the caution in this game. But if they throw caution to the wind and they start just firing at will at these goaltenders, Ottinger and Blackwood are solid, but I do think we could see some puck luck out there and we could go over the 1.5. So Avs to win is the best bet. But you guys, looking at those lines, you look at the Colorado Avalanche, they're minus 140 right now. You guys know I don't love laying a lot of juice. So while I think they're going to get the win, do I want to live bet this? Yeah, I do. I want to see the Dallas Stars maybe go up in the second period. I want a scoreless first, Dallas to go up in the second by a goal, and then the Avs to answer back in the third period. Beautiful if that storyline will work out, and then we're able to get the Avs with plus money. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I wouldn't take this one in reg for Colorado either. I do think this one has the opportunity of going to overtime. It's such an important game here at the Battle of the Central. Overtime bet plus 340. Sign me up all day long at that plus 340 mark. I'm seeing a ton of unders today, Alan, as well. I am so glad that you are liking those unders in these games. I really do think these teams, we're rolling into the end of the regular season, right? These teams have like 18 games left on deck, basically. So they need to start focusing on the defensive play. Offense as well. Vancouver's offense has been flying as of late, but those offensive games really need to lock down a little bit. Yeah, bittersweet for Mikko Rantanen, that is for sure. Thank you, Jeffrey. I hope you're having a great Sunday as well. Grand Salami to the under, Alan. I keep going back to that. Let's take the Grand Salami to the under. Let me know what that is coming in at. I haven't checked out that yet. There's a lot of different things that you could look at right now on FanDuel. There's even puck drop specials where you can bet which team will score the fastest goal in like a block hour. It's really cool. Scott Wetzel and I jumped into it last night on In-Game Live. It was Lafayette scored really quick out there for the Rangers. It was in like 1 minute and something seconds. So it was crazy. So definitely if you like that instant gratification, we got some puck drop specials, and those are in the yeah, we've got them. We got over, see, there's the total goals. 42.5 is your total goals today. So if you want to look at that, you can also look at the most shots on goal today for any of these players, and you can look at home team to score the first goal in every game. That's plus 10,000. That would be pretty cool if the home team could score for a spot. Let's get back to these games, you guys. Let's not try to squirrel too much here, because if you take me on a path, I am going to run down it. It's going to be bad. Let's look at the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers are up next, and they're facing the New York Rangers. Now, one of my co-hosts for my Sports Million shows and a couple other shows, Tom Vecchio, is going to be there supporting the Rangers. So I'm hoping the Rangers can get the win for that reason. I'm looking for Tom to be able to really enjoy himself, but I'm also looking for the Oilers to lose another game. How much trust do we have in the Edmonton Oilers with what they've been doing as of late? They've been struggling since the All-Star break, well, the Four Nations break, and I just don't love what we're seeing out of them. And looking at the lines here, the Edmonton Oilers are minus 160 favorite. Can I get behind that? Hell no. I wouldn't be looking at the puck line here either. Do I trust the New York Rangers at home in Madison Square Garden, where the Oilers have actually had success? Not really. One thing we have seen, even though the Oilers have won the last 2 meetings in Madison Square Garden, they've gone down quick, and the Rangers have been able to win that first period in the last 4. That being said, the Oilers can be so dangerous in the first period. I'm nervous to take that as well. We've got a total of 6.5 in this one. It's minus 106 to the under and minus 114 to the over. I do think this is a game where we see less goals than expected. I'm taking Edmonton's team total. That is where I have the most faith. You look at Edmonton's team total, it's 3.5. It's minus 116 to the under. I know how strong this team can be offensively, but I'm looking for more of a defensive style of game. The under 3.5 for the Oilers is minus 116. They've only gone over 3.5 goals in their last 10 games. This hasn't been the offensive production we've been expecting. Now, Leon Draisaitl has been strong out there. We've seen great play out of him. So if you want to take him for the goal, I couldn't deny it there. I like what Hyman's been doing as well, but I wouldn't count on this team for a lot of goals. So Edmonton's won the last 2 here in New York. Like I said, they've lost the last 4 first periods here as well in Madison Square Garden. And they did get the last win back in November. And that was a huge win. They got a 6-2 win. So if you don't want to fade their team total, you want to take it to the over. I don't blame you. They're facing Jonathan Quick, though. And Jonathan Quick actually has solid numbers versus Edmonton. In his career, he's got a .918 save percentage and a 2.27 goals against average versus the Oilers going 25-13-6 in 44 games. Now, on the season, his save percentage is down this year. It's below 900 at 862, but he's 9-6-2. I'm looking for Jonathan Quick to really stand on his head in this matchup. Skinner has solid numbers as well. So if you just want to take the full game to the under, if you think Edmonton's going to win this 3-2 or 3-2 for the Rangers, you could take the full game under the 6.5. I don't hate it as well, but I still just don't have that belief in Skinner, even though he's got good numbers versus the Rangers. He's got a .920 save percentage. That is my bias against this goaltender. And I say it all the time because he lets in goals that I can't have the faith and the trust, right? The goals that he lets in that are really weak, they stand out in your mind. And yes, he can make some fantastic saves, but is he like Ullmark? Like you saw Ullmark last night allowing a terrible goal. He made a mistake. He came out of the paint and I don't even know what he was doing, but I won't hold that against Ullmark in the next game. Ullmark, I trust to not make those mistakes continuously, and I don't have that faith in Skinner. So that's what it comes down to. I know Edmonton fans absolutely hate me for saying that. Edmonton just needs like an Ullmark, a Hellebuck. They need that top goaltender, and I'm happy as a Calgary fan they just don't have it. So that is where we're going. Jo, happy Sunday to you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the love this morning. DeBrincat, Rantanen, Trocheck, Kyrou, Hughes, Connor. Anytime goal parlayed or the points. I love it. Yeah, look at the points and look at the anytime goal. I would parlay both, Larry, because you know DeBrincat's going to come out for the Red Wings, Rantanen for the Stars, Trocheck for the Rangers, Kyrou for the Blues, Hughes, the Hughes for Vancouver, Quinn Hughes. I love it. That's who you're going with, right? The Devils aren't in action today. And Jack Hughes out of the lineup, Luke Hughes. So, and then Connor, Kyle Connor for the Winnipeg Jets. It's great. Great way to go. Let's make some freaking money, you guys. Let's go. Okay. Next game on a deck. Oh, so yeah, if you're looking at goal scorers for the Rangers, Panarin has been so nice and solid out there. He had a goal and assist last night. His point streak has gone to 8 games. So I would look at Panarin to come out hot. He's got 29 goals. So goal number 30 for Panarin. Can we get it tonight? We absolutely could here on Skinner. So look at Panarin for his goal. He's got 70 points, and I think he gets goal number 30 tonight. The Florida Panthers and the New York Islanders. Florida off a rare loss yesterday. And we know it's a rare loss. They're sitting first in the Atlantic. Montreal really plays Florida hard. And it was a hard case if you had Florida last night because they are the better team. Better team on paper, better team overall, but they seem to come up against this Montreal team that shut them out the last time they matched up. And then last night, they lost 3-1 too. So Montreal really does have Florida's number. They play them hard. But I also think Florida gets in a lot of these situations where they underestimate what they're going to see out of Montreal. They had the Islanders on deck. They knew they were rolling into 2 nights of a back-to-back. Vanacek expected to get the start here for Florida, and then Sorokin for the New York Islanders tonight. So looking at lines right now on FanDuel, the Florida Panthers are a minus 160 favorite here on that money line, plus 132 for the Isles. And you guys, I love the Islanders, but without Brock Nelson, this team just has no offense to talk about, it seems like, since that trade. We got a total of 5.5, minus 115 to the under and minus 105 to the over. I do think we got another lower scoring game because of the Isles. I just don't see that offensive production. They've been struggling since, like I said, Brock Nelson was traded away. They've scored only 1 goal in each of their last 3 games. So they're off that overtime loss at home to the Oilers, 2-1 in their last game. So I'm looking for under 2.5 goals for the Isles here. The under 2.5 for the Islanders coming in at minus 118. I just can't see, even if they beat Florida 2-1, I can't see that third goal. But I do think Florida comes out nice and strong. I don't want to bet them on the money line because it's too juicy, and I definitely don't want to take that puck line with Sorokin. Sorokin has really solid numbers versus the Florida Panthers. In his last 4 games as well, he's gone 2-1-1 with a .933 save percentage and a 2.25 goals against average. So Sorokin has been hot, 2.75 goals against average overall on the season and a .906 save percentage. So I can't fade Sorokin here by taking the Florida Panthers puck line, but I will just take the Isles team total under 2.5 goals, and that's coming in at minus 118. So third meeting between these two teams this season, and Florida's taken the first 2. We know how hard it is for teams to sweep other teams, but it's the Isles versus the Panthers. So we should see the Isles come out on top. Just no value there for me to bet them. Now, Sam Reinhart has 70 points now in 67 games. He's been absolutely on fire. 6 points in his last 5. So if you're looking for a playmaker here for Florida, I definitely would circle Sam Reinhart. You guys know there's so much talent on this team with Barkov, Bennett. The list just goes on. So if you want to circle any of these players, Brad Marchand, we still don't have confirmation when he is going to be in this lineup. I'm not seeing him in the lineup today. Now, the Isles, if you really want to play someone here for that anytime goal, which I'm not going to because I got the under 2.5, and I don't like, we're going to get 1, we're going to get 2 at most, but I can't take it. But Bo Horvat would be your playmaker that I would look at if you want to take someone. The Anaheim Ducks are then taking on the St. Louis Blues. Now, the St. Louis Blues need Binghamton to have a bounce back. Binghamton in the last game versus the Pittsburgh Penguins got yanked, you guys. As soon as a goaltender gets yanked from a game, and that was in the 3rd period, and I think he started that 3rd period before he got yanked by allowing 4 goals to the Penguins, I look for that goaltender to bounce back, and that goaltender to bounce back big. I think Binghamton has that bounce back. We know how strong he was in the 4 Nations and how strong he came out of the 4 Nations break. So I'm looking for him to have that big night. Now, versus the Anaheim Ducks, a team that we know has struggled scoring those goals, I think this is a great opportunity for Binghamton probably to get the shutout win here. Now, we're seeing the Anaheim Ducks off a win versus the Predators Friday night. They were able to win that in a 2-1 style game. This is the first of 3 road games out there, and this is a hard road trip for the Ducks. They have the Stars on Tuesday and the Predators again on Thursday. They're sitting 6th in the Pacific. The Ducks are not going to make the playoffs this season. 5th in the Central here for the St. Louis Blues, and no one can tell this team die because they are fighting to try to make a playoff spot. Not sure if they're going to be able to get it, but they are still in the mix depending on what happens with other teams. They did get the win last night versus the Minnesota Wild. Big win for them as well, going 5-1 to the Wild. So great win there. Second night of a back-to-back is hard, and they're also off. This is the worst scheduling spot. Second night back-to-back, off 6 games out there on the road, went 3-3 on the road, and they hit the road again versus the Predators on Tuesday. This is normally an automatic fade, but this is going to come down to Jordan Binghamton between the pipes and what he can do for us tonight. I'm expecting that shutout win here for Jordan Binghamton. Now, I do think the Blues will score on DOS still. You can play this a couple of ways. I look at the Blues team total over 3.5. That's coming in at plus 116. I look at the first period puck line because it does worry me the full game because of the fact that the Blues are returning from a road trip. They're headed back out. They need every single point they can get. So the first period puck line is where I have more faith than the full game puck line. But I'm not going to be shocked if this is a 3-0 win for the St. Louis Blues. 4-0 win for the St. Louis Blues gives us that team total over 3.5. So it's going to depend. If the Ducks can score 1 goal and Binghamton doesn't get the shutout, we probably get the 4 goals. And if he can't, then we probably just get the 3 as the Blues just lock down defensively. But there's players that really need to start padding some of their stats out here. So I do think we get the fourth goal. The first period puck line is what I like best. Laying the half a goal in the first period for the St. Louis Blues, coming in at plus 144. That's going to get you the plus money. So they did just win on March 7th, and they did allow the Ducks to put those goals up, 4-3 style win. And they won the first game versus them 6-2. So they're looking to sweep this series, and I do think they get it. Jordan Kyrou has 53 points. Robert Thomas has 54 points. And Dylan Holloway has 49 points. So give me Holloway for point number 50 tonight. He's got 21 goals and 28 assists. Give me Robert Thomas for point number 55, 17 goals and 37 assists. And give me Kyrou for 2 points tonight. I think Kyrou hits 55 points tonight. So I am expecting those 4 goals, you guys. 27 goals and 26 assists. I think this is a great day for the St. Louis Blues. Now, the Ducks haven't beaten the Blues since December 2021. In that game, it was won by a penalty shot by Troy Terry. So if you want to look for Troy Terry to come out nice and strong, he has been able to hit the Blues before in the last time that they got that win in 2021. It's hard to believe. We're 2025, 4 years since the Ducks have beaten the Blues. Let's look at the Utah Hockey Club versus the Vancouver Canucks. One game that I really could see those goals racking up. And we know Utah, with Clayton Keller, Dylan Guenther, this team's offense can be strong. The Vancouver Canucks on the second night of a back-to-back, and over their last 2 games, they put up 10 goals, 6 goals last night in their win, 4 in the win versus the Calgary Flames. So 10 goals in total. Now Vancouver's a home dog. I actually really don't understand this line. The Utah Hockey Club have been better out of the All-Star break, but to be a minus 128 favorite in Vancouver with the Vancouver Canucks pushing so hard for that wild card spot, I just don't understand why they're a home dog at plus 106. Out of principle, I got to play the Vancouver Canucks. I think they're live to get the win. And at plus 106, we're getting great value on them. Now, this total 5.5, minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. I'm going to play it cautiously. The last time these teams met up, Utah got the win in February, 2-1. Vejmelka versus Vancouver has not great numbers. So Vejmelka has played 6 games versus Vancouver, going 2-2 with a 3.78 goals against average and an 852 save percentage. With how Vancouver has been scoring, their team total at 2.5, they should be able to get 3 goals on Vejmelka. They've proven that they can score on this goaltender. That's coming in at minus 140, though. I hate that juice. You guys know that. I'm expecting Vancouver on the second night of a back-to-back to come out of the gate so strong. They've won their last 2, like I said, 6-2 win versus the Chicago Blackhawks last night. And I tell you, what the hell is with the refs and Connor Bedard? Vancouver went after Connor Bedard, and Connor Bedard got another 10-minute misconduct. He's got 2 10-minute misconducts in the last 2 games, and Connor Bedard is one of the nicest players out there on the ice. I don't understand what is happening. And if you watch that game, Vancouver surrounded him, and these players were working on him out there, and Connor Bedard was just kind of defending himself. I don't understand it. There's a hate on for him right now. That was his second time back in Vancouver. His home fans would have been behind him because Vancouver is his home. So I don't understand what happened. And I need to read more into that. Maybe he said something again to the ref. Maybe he's really mouthy. Maybe he's like that kid that your kids bring home that you think is like the biggest sweetheart. And then you see them when they don't know that a parent is watching. Maybe that's what Connor Bedard is out there. We all know those type of kids, but from what I've seen and what I've heard about Connor Bedard, he's not that kind of player out there on the ice. So 2 10-minute misconducts in 2 games just blows my mind. But I'm squirreling again back to this game here, Vancouver versus Utah. I do think Vancouver can get 3 goals on Vejmelka. Kevin Lankinen has had some solid numbers as of late, and with how Utah has been playing, I think Clayton Keller and Dylan Guenther can light the lamp tonight. We're looking 6 in the Central for Utah, 69 points in 66 games. Vancouver has reached the same point as Calgary. They're 4th in the Pacific, 71 points in 65 games, tied with Calgary for that last wildcard spot. So they are going to be so hungry to get this win today. I think it's Vancouver straight up on the money line as the best bet. The only angst I have here and why I lean to the team total, even though I hate the juice, is because Vancouver on the second night of back-to-backs lost their last 4. This team has struggled in that situation, and that's why I kind of think that first period money line at -102 might be your best bet. Because if you look at the money line, look at them to come out strong in that first period, then you're not going to get the tired legs. And that's what ends up happening to Vancouver in these back-to-back situations. It's that third period that absolutely kills them, and they end up losing these games. So Vancouver first period money line at -102, I think, is a very solid way to go. Now, Elias Pettersson has been lighting that lamp. Quinn Hughes has been lighting that lamp as well. Look for both of them to come out nice and strong for Vancouver. Parlay them for their points. You'll get plus money. Okay, last game. Last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Seattle Kraken. Now, the Winnipeg Jets, one of the biggest, actually, are they the biggest favorite of the day? Yeah, the Winnipeg Jets are the biggest favorite of the day, rolling in here at -184. We got +152 for the Seattle Kraken, who have won their last 2, actually being able to put up a ton of goals in a couple of these games. We got a total of 5.5. -115 to the over, -105 to the under. Connor Hellebuck is listed as expected, but I really would expect Eric Crombie. Connor Hellebuck played that last game on Friday versus the Dallas Stars. Why start him here when you have Vancouver on Tuesday and the Oilers on Thursday? So I wouldn't start him in this one, but we'll have to wait and see who's going to be in net tonight for the Winnipeg Jets. Make sure you do stay tuned to X as well as YouTube over here in case I have any goalie props, depending on who is going to be listed. But it's a big Sunday, it's Selection Sunday, you guys. So stay tuned for everything. So both of these teams coming off a couple of wins. Seattle did beat Utah. I'm shocked they put up 4 goals on Friday night versus the Utah Hockey Club. The road trip on deck for them, starting with Chicago on Tuesday. Oh, excuse my voice. And then the Wild, and then the Oilers and the Flames. So they got a 4-game road trip loading, kicking off on Tuesday here, taking on a lot of these teams in the Pacific. Well, 2 teams in the Pacific with Calgary and the Oilers. They're sitting 7th in the Pacific right now. Now the Winnipeg Jets sitting nice and high at first in the Central here. They won their last 2. They got that big win on Friday. It scares me looking at a team sitting comfortably in the Central Division off a big win versus the Central, now facing a 7th in the Pacific. You guys know that is like a letdown nightmare, especially when they're at Vancouver on Tuesday and at the Oilers on Thursday. So that scares me. They've won the last meeting versus the Seattle Kraken in a low-scoring game, 2-1, and the last 4 overall. So they have had that dominance over the Seattle Kraken. Brandon Montour for the Kraken has been just flying out there. He's got 5 goals and 4 assists in the last 10 games. So if you're looking for someone to step up again for the Kraken, it is Brandon Montour, and I expect him to come out nice and solid. Looking at the Winnipeg Jets, though, I think they get the win. Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, look for the points out of these guys. And I do think this has to be one where I've got to have faith that the Winnipeg Jets care about this game, care about getting the win. They still need to get those points on the board. So looking at the Winnipeg Jets, they played 66 games. They have 94 points. So the Dallas Stars are sitting 2nd in the Central with 86 points. So really, we've got 8 points separating these teams. It is a lot, but the Dallas Stars do have 2 games in hand. So Winnipeg needs to get these wins. Maybe looking at Winnipeg in reg, I don't see the Seattle Kraken pushing the Winnipeg Jets into overtime. I'd be really shocked. It's going to depend on goaltending, though. With Eric Crombie, we could see it, you guys. I'm not really buying it, though. I think the Winnipeg Jets are just such a stronger team. I want to see what they're giving us for overtime because that will tell us a lot. Plus 340. I'm actually shocked this isn't plus 380. We've got almost a $2 favorite, and they're not giving us really a lot of value there on the overtime. Let's just look at one more thing. The 60-minute money line, the reg win for the Winnipeg Jets. That's where I'm going to go, you guys. Minus 120 for the reg win. This is a game that I want to wait to see goaltending, but I think no matter what goaltending is, I would lay the reg bet at minus 120. Now, if it's Connor Hellebuck, I'm going to be all over that puck line. I'm going to be over the puck line first period, puck line full game. Look for Winnipeg to come out and dominate. Kyle Connor to get on the board. Mark Scheifele to get on the board. I'm expecting the playmakers to step up. against a Seattle team. So Irish King, good to see you here on this beautiful Sunday. So you guys, that is all 7 games. Let's jump into a quick recap here. I'll list off those players I'm liking as well in the recap, but I appreciate each and every one of you for being here on the daily. So we're going to kick off with the first game here. The Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Detroit Red Wings. In this one, the puck is going to be dropping pretty quick here. If it hasn't already, let's just see what time puck drop was on this one. No, we've got a while here to go. So I'm going to look at the over 1.5 in the first period at -140. Both teams to score at +196 in that first period. Half a unit on both of those. I'm going to look for the Red Wings to come out and win this game. +118 right now. I think this is a 4-3 style win for the Red Wings. I do think you're going to get more value. Well, we will if Vegas goes up first, and I think Vegas could go up first in this game. But Detroit has won 5 of the last 8 meetings in this series, including 3 of the last 4 at home. So I think with how they're battling it out, they're trying to make a playoff spot. Don't think they're going to get there, but their hopes are still alive. I'd look at Lucas Raymond for 2+ points tonight, Dylan Larkin for a point, DeBrincat for 2+ points, and Patrick Kane for the point. Parlay all 4 of them for 1 point, and you're going to get great plus money. On the other side, Jack Eichel at Mark Stone and Thomas Hertl. I would look at parlaying all 3 for their point. The Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche. This is all about Mikko Rantanen coming back to Colorado. So I will take him at +185 for that anytime goal. I still think Colorado gets a win in this matchup. The problem is they're a -140 favorite, which I don't love. If Dallas comes up first, I will then come back in on Colorado to get the win. This team 21-11 as a home favorite. They're also 22-10-2 at home this season. And the Dallas Stars, Rupe Hint still out of this lineup. I think it's too much for Dallas to get the win in Colorado with the altitude here. First period, under 1.5 goals. Expect that tight playoff style hockey. Looking at Nathan MacKinnon for the goal tonight or the assist, I definitely like him for his points. Cale Makar in the last game out versus the Stars did have 2 goals. Druin had a goal and an assist. Middlestat had 1 goal and 2 assists. Nathan MacKinnon the assist. So I do think combine those players for their points tonight. Looking at the Edmonton Oilers versus the New York Rangers, the Edmonton Oilers have lost their last 4 first periods in New York, and I do think they take another loss in the first period. I'd look at the Rangers first period. But the best bet here is the Edmonton Oilers team total under 3.5 goals. They've only gone over this in 1 of the last 10. And I do think Jonathan Quick with his numbers versus Edmonton is going to stand on his head for the Rangers in this matchup. So Oilers under 3.5 goals. Leon Draisaitl and then Panarin would be your goal scorers for both of those teams. The Florida Panthers versus the New York Islanders, Vanacek versus Sorokin. Give me Sorokin to stand on his head in this game and maybe get the Isles a win. But if they win, it's a 2-1 style game. I'm going to take the Isles team total under 2.5 goals at -118. Low scoring battle I'm expecting, but I won't take the full total in case Florida goes off because they lost yesterday to Montreal. I do think Sorokin will have a solid day, but if Florida starts clicking offensively, I want nothing to do with the full total there. I just want the Isles team total because that's the offense that I have no faith in. 2 score tonight. Ever since trading Brock Nelson, this team has been struggling to light the lamp. The Anaheim Ducks and the St. Louis Blues. I think this game is all about the Blues, even though they're in a terrible scheduling spot. Second night of back-to-back, home off a road trip. Give me the Blues to get things done. I expect them to come out in the first period, cover that puck line, laying a half a goal at +144. I'm also looking for them to score at least 4 goals here on Dostal. The over 3.5 goals coming in at +116. Looking for the sweep of this series. They've won the first 2. Jordan Kyrou for 2 points tonight. He's got 53 points on the season, 27 goals, 26 assists. I'd look at Robert Thomas for point number 55 tonight. He has 17 goals, 37 assists. And Dylan Holloway for point number 50. He's got 21 goals and 28 assists. The Utah Hockey Club versus the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver first period. Money line -102. I can't believe that even though on a second night of back-to-back, they've lost their last 4, this team is battling it out in the Pacific, tied with Calgary going into today, 71 points in 65 games. I expect Vancouver to give it everything they have. This offense has been flying the last 2 games, scoring 10 goals. We do have the Utah Hockey Club, 6 in the Central, 69 points in 66 games. So Vancouver has a game on them here. It's Elias Pettersson for the anytime goal for Vancouver, Clayton Keller or Dylan Gunther for those points for Utah as well. Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets will face the Seattle Kraken or Eric Crombie. So we're going to have to wait and see goaltending. If it's Connor Hellebuck, I'm going to lay the puck line here with the Winnipeg Jets. With Eric Crombie, I'll just take the Jets to win in reg. That's coming in at -120. I do think they get the win over the Seattle Kraken here in Seattle. Now, Brandon Montour has been playing great for Seattle. He's had 5 goals and 4 assists in the last 10 games. So if you want a playmaker for Seattle, go back to Brandon Montour. But it's Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele here for the Winnipeg Jets for their points parlayed together. But I think the Jets win and cover with Hellebuck, win in reg with Eric Crombie. So you guys, all the best in all of your bets. I really appreciate you guys for being here. He was absolutely getting rocked last night, and that was my issue. So how did he get a 10-minute misconduct when he was getting just brutalized out there on the ice? I don't understand it at all. It was like Vancouver was just targeting him because he's the best player out there on the ice for Chicago, and they weren't allowing him anything. And so in that, Connor Bedard got another 10-minute misconduct. I'm going to have to read a little bit more into that and see what is happening, why he's getting these misconducts, because I'm shook. I just don't understand it. But you guys, all the best in all of your bets. Scott Wetzel and I are live today. It's from 6 to 7 Eastern on the grid. It is Selection Sunday. We will be live for when these whoever is going to make the big dance. We're going to be live for those selections, the selection show. So we're going to be reacting to that, as well as giving you our first look at some of these matchups that we're going to see out there on the hardwood for college basketball. So don't miss it, and make sure you turn it into the grid for the rest of the morning. We've got a ton of stuff going on the grid today. You don't want to miss out on it. Yeah, so best bets. No reason to say sorry at all. I do think Vancouver first period money line at -102 is a fantastic way to look. I also think the St. Louis Blues first period puck line here, -0.5 goal at +144. I'm expecting Binghamton to really bounce back and the Ducks to get off to a slow start in that. So those are my 2 best bets. And then I go to the Isles under 2.5 goals at -118, and the Edmonton Oilers under 3.5 goals at -116. Those are my 4 favorite bets of the day. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. Again, thank you so very much for joining me here for Puck It with Jo on the daily. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, noonies. Hit some anytime goal scorers, as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies.